In this video, you are going to be able to self-assess to see how well do you really understand the concepts involved with arithmetic sequences. The first question is to write an explicit formula that models the arithmetic sequence above. Please press pause, complete this process, and then press play. In order to do this, we need to know two things. We need to know what is the common difference. That means how do I get from one number to the next in this arithmetic sequence. And we also need to know what is the first term. So the first term in the sequence is 1/3, and now I'm going to determine what the common difference is. Taking your graphing calculator, we're always going to take the second, and I'm going to subtract it from the first. Second, subtract first. Now, when I get to this, some of you can convert 0.25 into a fraction on your own. If not, you're going to find the button that says Math, then go to the very bottom and find Enter and press Enter twice. 1/4. What does that mean? Well, let's make sure I did this correctly. So if I start back with 1/3, and because this was a positive number, taking the second, subtract first was a positive number, I can assume that I'm going to add 1/4 to get each one. So I'm showing you right now how this is the correct answer. I believe if I take 1/3 and add a common difference, I end up with 7/12. So let's check. Math, fraction, enter, enter. Good. So now I'm going to take this numerical value, and again, I'm going to add the 1/4. Okay, I'm going to turn it back into fraction, and I go, oh, yep, this is working. This is an arithmetic formula. Yes, it already stated it in the problem that it's arithmetic. I'm just showing you how to also prove. So the common difference is this 1/4. So how do I write an equation, an explicit formula specifically, that models this sequence? Well, I'm going to replace the D with 1/4 and replace the A with 1/3. Don't be scared of fractions. We're going to let the calculator do the hard work. Leaving it like this would not be proper. So we need to distribute, so 1/4 times a -1. And now when I combine like terms, I'm going to use the calculator to do that. So I have a -1/4, I put parentheses, remember the negative sign is below the 3, and I'm going to add a 1/3, and then I'm going to turn this answer back into a fraction by hitting Math, fraction is already highlighted, enter, enter. 1/4 n plus 1/12. Why did I go plus 1/12? I did that because my final answer was positive. If it would have been negative, I would have done subtract. For the second part of this self-evaluation of learning, we're provided with the same pattern, and you are being asked to write a recursive formula that models the arithmetic sequence above. It is important to note that you need to know the difference between what is an explicit formula and what is a recursive formula. So at this time, please press pause, complete it, and then come back and press play to see. Here's the general equation. We're going to identify the very first number in the sequence. So I'm going to replace the number sign with 1/3. That's the first number in the sequence. And then note these are small n's. They're sub numbers, subscripts. So a sub n equals a sub n minus 1. This represents the previous number in the pattern. And then we're going to either add or subtract the common difference. In the last problem, we were able to identify the common difference as a positive value. For that reason, I'm going to go plus 1/4. If it would have been a negative value, we would have subtracted. And this is the recursive formula. Okay, next, what is the sum of the first 8 terms in this arithmetic sequence? Make sure to read the directions, so you may not have to do this for the first few problems of the independent practice or homework. When you are asked to add up, there's a difference between finding the 8th term and adding up the sum of the first 8 terms. So I'm at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Finding the 8th term would be just what is this value? What is the sum of them means we're going to add all of these together. There is a formula for this. Look back in your notes if you need to. Press pause. This is the formula. You may have been introduced to us several years ago, but this is the formula that allows us an easier way to find what is the sum of the first 8. So N represents how many terms are you trying to add up. So it's the first 8 terms. So I'm going to replace anytime I see an N with 8. So S of 8 equals 8 times. Also, A sub 1 is the first term. And then I need to find out what is the 8th term, and put a little question mark there, all divided by 2. So I need to know what is this term. And the explicit formula is going to allow me to do that. So if we look back here at the explicit formula, we had A of n equals, and I can look right here. This is my explicit formula. It was 1/4 n plus 12. 1/4 n plus 12. In order to add up the first 8, I need to know what is the first term and the last term that I'm trying to add to. So first term and 8th term. So this explicit formula allows me to go, okay, I want to find, the input is 8. It's the 8th term in that sequence. And whatever I get for an answer, the output is going to be, what is this 8th term? Grabbing a calculator, I can type in 1/4 times 8 and add 1/12 to it. Input is 8. Output is, I'm going to turn it back into a fraction by hitting math, fraction, enter, enter, 25 over 12. So this value is 25 over 12. That does not represent adding them all together. That is simply the 8th term. First term, second term, third, fourth, 8th term. So I'm going to replace this question mark with 25 over 12. And the rest, I'm going to let the calculator do the work. So PEMDAS says first take care of parentheses. So I'm going to take 1/3 and add 25 over 12, and I'm going to press enter. So I'm doing the numerator. Okay, I'm combining, doing the numerator, get an answer. Now I need to divide it by 2. And lastly, I'm going to multiply by the number out front. We don't want to round this. Okay, I want to give the exact answer, a precise answer. So when I hit math, fraction, enter, enter, this will turn it into an exact answer. Would rounding be wrong? Yes, unless it asks you to round, that would be wrong. Make sure today to always read the directions, specifically to ask, what are you being asked to find? Is it only the explicit and recursive when it is an arithmetic sequence, or are you being asked to find a specific term or the sum of a number of terms? Good luck.